or even in Manila, where you see it in Filipinos, this resilience, and for me it's inspiring. And so to have that in my partner, and on top of it to have the humor that I get from her, I'm a lucky guy, what can I say?
Good one, and she gets to enjoy the music alongside everyone here tonight. Thanks so much for being here.
My wife knows all about resilience in a relationship. Just kidding.
Yes, and I also know to be in a good relationship to protect my voice so I don't always have to shout.
Yes. So I'll give you reason to shout. Okay. Next question.
Next question. No one's
Olivier,
asked.
any question?
You know, Olivier, since you're the last one, I'll give you the opportunity to ask our good doctor here a question.
I already asked the question, so
So that's fine.
I'm safe. I'm safe.
You know, let me tell you, leadership is about asking the right questions. No, but I would like to ask Dr. Dan over here. Of course, we talked about the excitement that you go through, the responsibility of being an ER doctor and everything. You gained a lot of knowledge from this today. How would you apply in the medical arts what you've learned from all of these great people here to what you do on a daily basis or what you do in your career?
Wow. I think you're right. Definitely just being here talking to these people, there's so much to learn. And I think that one thing we've discussed in preparing for this is that you see when you gather together a group of people who excel, who do well at their field, you can see what are the common things, right? Like everyone with the passion, and everyone strives to do the very best that they can at their work. They push themselves harder. They don't accept limitations, and you know, just also combining maybe the best of the Filipino culture with, you know, and bringing that to the world stage. And that is actually very inspiring to see their accomplishments, you know, taken out to the world. I mean, I work here, right, and I try to do the best I can. But to see that, you know, we can bring that out to the best of the rest of the world is really inspiring.
All right. Well, why don't we give everyone here, all of our panelists, a big round of applause.
Now, at this point, I'm sure our audience is dying to ask questions, so we have a series of microphones around the room. If you could line up, if you have any questions for any of our panelists, our very distinguished panelists, now's the time. It could come from the youth or from the executives, whoever wants to ask questions.
Yes, of course, you see the microphones on different parts of the room. We've also turned on the house lights. Don't forget to state your name, the school that you're from, or the organization that you belong to, and please limit your questions to relevant issues. I don't know, that's what it says here. What about that too? No. But please feel free.
That means, like, you know, you don't ask an astrophysicist to find love.
Hey,
ask them about what they do.
That's true. Do we have questions from our young audience up there? I know we have a lot of schools, a lot of representatives from different schools. High school, colleges. How many schools do we have here? There's 9 different schools that are here. Can I have the students please wave their hands? Please, I'd like to see you. The entire back row. Are you raising your hand to ask a question? Please proceed to the microphone. Over there, we have a gentleman with a question. We would love to bring the microphone over to you. Yes, sir.
I would like to direct my question to Dr. Reyes, is it?
Yes. Yes, sir. May we have your name and the organization that you belong to?
Okay, my name is Arturo Buenaventura, or I'm just called Art. I used to be a pilot for 40 years with Philippine Airlines. And the question has something to do with my past experience. But my question first to you is, in your study of the universe, do you ever believe in UFO?
I guess that's a relevant issue.
Yes. Okay, I'll take that. Okay. No. It's a good question. UFOs, I think in general I mean, we can talk about unidentified flying objects that we see here on Earth. are generally, we don't take seriously, like we don't believe that they are from alien civilizations. But there are unidentified flying objects that turn out to be, for example, military aircraft or just weird phenomenon in the sky. But the question about life in other planets, life beyond Earth, life on Earth, that's a serious question. And in fact, it's an exciting time because we are at the point where we are actually discovering other planets orbiting around other stars, so other suns. And we are in the verge of finding Earth-like planets, planets like the Earth, and habitable planets as well, where water is in liquid form just like here, and there's a possibility that there's life there. Now there's another separate question of intelligent life, and if they have means to contact us, and vice versa. And that's still unknown, but we scientists are trying to, understand the probabilities, how common it is, and how. But the distances are so far. So here's the answer to your question: the distances are so far that with our current technology, it's not possible to travel to other planets, even these planets that we have discovered. So it's far-fetched to think that they have come here. When in fact, well, if they have, then I think we would all know. And that would be very monumental for human civilization, I think.
Okay, just to share to you my experience.
Sure.
Sometime 1991, we were flying a 747 out of Honolulu. And about an hour and a half away from Honolulu, we were flying about 31,000 feet. The night was so beautiful, there were so many stars, and typically we just look at the stars and enjoy the beauty of the universe. But suddenly, from the left side, there was a very bright light. It was so bright that it was exceptionally bright that typically if you are lighted up, if an aircraft will put on their landing lights, it is not that bright, but this one is super bright. So what we do, the protocol is see and be seen. So we put on all of our lights. And also at the back of our mind, we were trying to determine our point of convergence. But before we could ever determine our point of conversion, the light went out. So we just put off our lights. But only after a few minutes, when we looked at our left, there was this huge UFO beside us. Whoa. And if you are a pilot flying a 747, and a 747 will be flying right beside you, that plane will look small compared to what we saw. It was so huge that my first concern was to look at our instruments because we didn't know how it was flying. If it was being propped up by magnetism, whatever, it can affect our system, and it could shut down all of our engines.
Right.
So we were more concerned about that thing. But before we knew it, like we did see it come in, before we knew it, it just disappeared. Now, there were 4 airplanes that verified another Philippine Airlines flight, a continental flight, and a military air transport. And on that particular month of the year, it was reported over Alaska.
So you have records of your experience.
That's an
Maybe
actual
we can
experience.
share it with Dr. Reyna, and I'm sure this is the thirst for knowledge. This is always that thirst to know more about the universe, right? So hopefully with the experiences like that, it will just serve as an impetus for future scientists, for scientists like Dr. Reyna here to pursue and to try to really find out if there is life beyond civilization, beyond mankind as we know it. And we're looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Sir Art, for your story. Thank you, and for that great question. Now, we have here on the audience area at the back, we have a couple of people ready to ask their questions. A lot of curious students that are here, and we're really, really happy that all of you have made it to our executive talk brought to you by FPLA. So please don't forget to state your name and the school that you belong to and fire away with your question.
Hi, my name is Trisha. I come from Paraf Rose Hill School, and my question can be answered by anyone on stage. So, right, your passions, your dreams are important in choosing what you want to become in the future. And other than your passions, there's your college education, which is also critical for your career. But what if your passion, like let's say I want to become a lawyer, but my parents want me to become a doctor? So what if you're under condition to choose something that you don't want to choose? Like how do you, like it's discouraging. So how do you keep your passion alive, or do you just pursue whatever your parents want you to, or?
I think Rochelle shared that experience.
And
right?
Dr. Dan.
Kind
So
of similar. Well, for me, what I do is really I pray, and I believe that there is a higher force that helps us when we're very sure of what we really want to do, and if it's for a greater purpose, then I believe everything will. How do you say? Well,
come together.
it will all come together, and it will happen maybe not now, but later. So if you're so sure of that, if you're very passionate of something, then you shouldn't stop pursuing it. That's also my definition of excellence. It's setting a goal and just pursuing it, and do not stop until you get to that goal.
All right, and that's from her experience of being asked by her parents to take up theology instead of music. So that's really good advice here. I know Dr. Dan also wanted to share some insights.
Yeah, before I do that, though, I want to ask a question of you. Are your parents in the room?
They're not.
Okay, good. Okay, then I'll answer. No, I think definitely there will be limitations and barriers for you when you want to pursue your passion or your dream. And unfortunately, maybe your parents or someone else wanting something else for you might be one of those limitations. And I think if you really are passionate about it, you can power through, and you can keep on pursuing. I know someone, for example, who is also a doctor. So his mom really wanted him to be a doctor. So he's a really smart guy. He finished med school. He did very well, graduated with honors. After his graduation, he passed his boards, after which he became an IT person, because that's what he wanted to do. So he finished his med school, went into IT. And other ones also have done, for example, after finishing medicine, they went into doing research. So, there's always, you can find a different way around things, and you can make things come together. In fact, let's say if you have a passion for something, and you trained in something else, then you can even find a way to bring these two disciplines together in a way that maybe no one else has ever done before. So I think that you can still go ahead and do that.
Thank you, Rochelle and Dr. Dan. Thanks so much for that question.
Thank you also.
You're welcome. Can we move on to the next one? We have another question. I'm guessing from the same school.
Yes. I'm Betita from Paraf Rose Hill. So this question is for Dr. Luchanko. Okay, so I believe that a lot of people think that ER doctors are like miracle workers because it's so on the spot. And I just want to ask you, can you share an anecdote of a life-changing experience which made you come to love your job even more?
Wow. Yeah. Thanks for that. I get asked that a lot, actually, to share an anecdote from that. And I think that what I like best about the job is just that there are so many stories there. Almost there's whatever comes in, and you get to really see a slice of life. You get to see people on their worst days. You get to see people For example, I've told someone that, they're going to have a baby, and that's great news. You get to see people exposed because of the situation. They're weak, they're in pain or something, and you get to see the kind of person they really are. And so I guess without just one anecdote, it's really just the insight into everyday life and really into the humanity of people that makes it very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. While we're waiting for another question over there, can I just quickly ask Olivier, did you also have that? Did you also have that moment, a life-changing moment, and you thought, this is it, this is why I do what I do?
Well, I had a life-changing moment that I can't really talk about here, but it's a very, I had a very personal moment where, you go up and down in life, and, we all have that. And in the end, you realize you're it. I mean, if you're not going to believe in yourself, and I'm going to go back to that question from earlier about the parent trying to change your mind, but music was there for me, and it's the reason that I decided to keep on going, through my trials and tribulations. I want to go back to this question because you will face many people in your life who will tell you that either that you cannot do what you want to do, that my parents were guilty of that they don't believe that you can do something that you are setting yourself out to do, or that they want you to become something else. But in the end, it's your life, nobody else's life. And parents, all parents have the best intentions, but don't always show it in the best way. And I think parents, in the end, want you to be happy. So you have to stick to what you have passion in. Passion is half of the battle. The rest is, working hard and excelling and keeping curious and keeping at it. But passion is half the battle, and if you let anybody take the passion away from you, then you've already you're on the slippery slope to failure. You gotta believe in yourself, and you cannot let anybody else change your passion. And for me, I've had plenty of people tell me, "Oh, you'll never be a conductor. My teachers were, some of them, and they didn't quit on me, but I almost quit on them. But I stuck through it because like I said, I've been a stubborn son of a mother ever since I was born, and I believe in myself, and I think if there's something that we can take from this really is that you're it. Yes, you have people that love you and that like your family and your friends. You're a little young to be married, perhaps, but if you will go through times in life where it seems like nobody cares, and you're it. So you have to be your own support system.
Okay, thank you, Olivier. It seems like we've had a few teachers quit on our panelists up here. Maybe you just wore them out with all your questions. I don't know. All right. Looks like we have a dapper young man at the microphone. Go ahead and fire your question.
Hello, my name is Nico, and I study at the German European School, Manila, and I have a question to Mr. Pachola. How do I become a voice master?
Oh, there you go.
And Mr. Pachola, I'm the mother, and I have a second question. If you can control your voice, does it necessarily mean that your ears are trained enough to be able to sing, to be a good singer? So that's the second question. So two questions.
Okay.
And anyone can answer that.
I believe, what's your name again?
Nico.
Hi, Nico. How old are you now?
I'm 11.
11. You know what? I have an 8-year-old son, and he can now do like 10 voices. So he started imitating me. So I guess if you try imitating all the cartoons that you've been hearing, that you've been watching, you can do it. Nothing is impossible in this world as long as if you pursue doing it, and if you believe in yourself, then you can do everything. When I was young, I'm looking for an inspiration and motivation in my life. I just believe in myself. Even my mom and my dad don't believe in me. Because no one in the world will say, "Hey son, I want you to be a voice talent." All of them will say, "I want you to become
an engineer or a doctor, but not a voice talent. What is that? But mind you, just imagine a world without a voice. Just imagine a radio, a TV, or your computer game without a voice. You can't even play your favorite Angry Birds without a sound like it doesn't, it will never be exciting. As you know, voice-overs are also known as voice of God. We are the one telling you what to buy, what to do, what to eat. Even your toothpaste, who told you? Your mom? Of course not. It's the voiceover who says, Colgate, #1 brand recommended by that. Right? And I always believe that speech is the most miraculous thing in this world, because without speech, the world will perish. And I'm just using the power of voice acting to share my knowledge and my skills, my passion, and my aspiration in life to other people. Because, as you know, your voice can change the world. And voice is not just a gift, it is also a choice. So if you choose to sound like me, it's up to you. No, I'm just kidding. But I always believe if you have an interest or whatever you want to be, you will become as long as you do something about it. And I know one day, you're going to be the next president of this country. Just kidding, but it's up to you. And about your mom, Mommy, I don't sing. That's actually my frustration. That's why I became the voice master. Because there's a lot of singers out there, and once you say voice artist, no, you can't think of anyone, right? Because nowadays, especially for the youth, personal branding is very important. It's not actually becoming the best, but it's becoming the most well-known in terms of brand. It doesn't mean you're the best, you can do everything, but if you are not well-known, for sure they will not go to you. And the greatest ability in this world, always remember this, is availability. Boom. Panis. Okay?
All right.
Do you understand?
I thought that was him asking the question. It's you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much,
Thank
Nico. Let's encourage Nico with a nice
good.
round of applause. Thank you. And so good of you to be here today. And thanks to your mom for bringing you here. We have another question on that side. Your name, please.
I'm Sean from Meralco, and I think this is for anyone. A person is defined by success, but also by how he deals with failure. So my question is, how have you dealt with failure in your life and maybe rejection, and how has this defined you?
I'm not going to say you ever failed, but Cecil, would you mind taking a stab at that one?
Oh, I deal like everybody, I think. I cry, I pull my hair. I pace back and forth, and I call my son, and he goes like, God, Mom, you've been doing this for the last 40 years, chill out. Just like, so what's the question again?
How have you dealt with failure in your life, and how have you picked yourself up?
Oh, I'm pretty strong. Do you call resilient?
Resilience, yes.
Yeah, I usually try to fight it and even go further. It's like, who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, who cares? Tomorrow's another day, and just work.
I love that because so many people beat themselves up over a mistake, over an error, over something that happened, and I like your attitude.
I do it. I can't pretend. I mean,
Right.
I do it. I beat myself quite a lot, and I get, I take a vodka and drink.
For this side of the room only.
The
Not up there.
The front seats. So I think the key point there is you don't give up. You don't give it a chance to just take over your life and just
But
walk
I
out
do,
the door.
yeah, but I do cry.
Take a
This
step
is for
back.
sure, yeah.
You deal with it, and then you go forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Olivier?
Yes, Olivier.
If we all fail over and over, I mean, there's not a person who doesn't fail. And the thing is, if you give up, then somebody else will do it. And so often it helps me, at least, to think of the end of my life, whenever that is. What do I want to be remembered for? For never trying again, or for getting closer and closer to that success. And sometimes, the success will come when you least expect it. I've applied for many, many jobs before this one. And the thing is, the competition is so fierce. It's just fierce, and it's getting fiercer everywhere in the world. But you have to get fiercer with it. And you get stronger and stronger. And again, it's, what you want to be remembered for. I don't want to be remembered for a quitter. So it helps me. So I think if you think of it that way, it might help you as well.
Thank you, Olivier Oshanin. Let's go on to our next question. I think we have somebody right there.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Lance. I'm from Meralco. So today we've been talking about your personal journeys, your personal successes, but I think it would be interesting if you could also share your inspirations, and particularly if nation building is a part of those. So, yeah.
If nation building is part of those?
Yeah, part of your inspirations.
Anyone want to answer that? Ryan, you look at me.
Nation building, though.
It's
Nation
not-
building, though?
You know.
Oh, damn it. All right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about nation building, man.
That's what I don't like about lapels. You can't like...
Well, I guess before I can even get into that, and to be as philosophical as I can to try to dodge the question as skillfully as possible, before you can even get into nation building, you're going to have to obviously start with yourself and build yourself up. I've had a lot of sort of things that have inspired me, just events, people. I mean, there are a lot of artists that I look up to all the time. But even more so than these artists are the people that I played with. Living in LA, I was able to meet so many different writers who struggled with the same things as I did. I knew a lot of producers. I knew a lot of musicians who were on the verge of quitting, but for some reason they didn't. And a few months later, they got picked up. And it makes me think whenever we see other people who keep striving to keep doing what they're doing and they don't give up, it makes you just not want to give up either. So I think that something that really helps to inspire anyone in anything is having a good base, a good support, like a lot of people that you know who are essentially doing the same thing as you. I guess especially if you're in a volatile industry. I mean, I guess most professions are pretty volatile, but like in my experience, I find that music more so than, I mean, I guess other like maybe acting, it's pretty hard as well. But music especially, it's been getting a lot of, it's been really hard, like all over the world. And people are just losing their jobs all the time. But for all the thousands of people that don't make it, there are a few who do. And the difference is that they don't give up.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan, for tackling that. And thank you for that question. Now, we only have a few minutes left. And I see about 3 people over here and 2 over here. So let me start with someone from back there. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last question for this session. I know it's been wonderful. Can we have the lady? Are you the first in line to ask the question?
Yes, I am.
Yes, hi.